You get 8 hours of sleep, drink your coffee, and still feel a heavy physical weight pulling you down by 2 in the afternoon. That constant heaviness is often the primary signal of mild anemia. It is the physical sensation of cellular suffocation, your tissues signaling they aren't receiving enough oxygen to maintain basic functions. While fatigue can stem from many sources, this specific physical drag traces back to the blood's capacity to move oxygen. That capacity relies entirely on the presence of bioavailable iron, the primary vehicle for oxygen transport. When people realize their iron is low, they usually turn to traditional interventions. They start eating massive amounts of red meat, or they buy heavy synthetic iron pills. These synthetic supplements often carry immediate drawbacks. The heavy doses cause gastrointestinal distress, severe cramping, and digestive friction that can make the treatment feel worse than the fatigue. Biological recovery depends on finding a frictionless path for the body to utilize nutrients rather than simply increasing the volume of the intake. To escape the side effects of synthetic pills, many people try to cure their anemia by pivoting to a plant-based or fruit-heavy diet. For many, this leads to immediate disappointment. When you compare the raw iron numbers in fruit against a cut of meat, the fruit looks mathematically useless. This chart, the iron illusion, maps why raw intake is misleading. The vertical axis is total iron content. The horizontal tracks absorption power. Red meat lands top left, high density but low to moderate absorption. Fruit strategy lies bottom right, not a primary source, but a biological catalyst. This is a matter of bioavailability, the actual percentage of a consumed nutrient that successfully survives digestion and enters your bloodstream. Moving from high-density iron to high bioavailability requires abandoning the search for one single superfood. You have to adopt a deliberate strategy of biological pairing. The first component of this fruit protocol involves the builders. These supply the essential raw materials required for blood health. Looking at the Synergy scorecard, we start with our primary builders, pomegranates and dates. They provide baseline iron and vitamin B6, acting as a construction signal for hemoglobin production. This gives a gradual energy lift, but fails as a standalone cure for severe anemia. They provide the foundational blocks. However, without an unlocking mechanism, their low iron content will largely pass right through your digestive tract unused. To prevent that waste, you need the critical missing piece of plant-based absorption, the unlockers. This category is driven by citrus, specifically oranges, lemons, and grapefruits. In the digestive tract, vitamin C initiates a chemical reaction with plant-based iron. It converts the iron into a soluble state that the intestinal lining can easily capture and pull into the bloodstream. On the Synergy scorecard, squeezing lemon over your meal alters its nutritional value. Citrus acts as a biological multiplier, increasing the iron your body captures. But remember, consuming citrus isolated from an iron source provides absolutely zero anemia benefits. Mastering your anemia with fruit requires giving up random snacking and instead adopting deliberate, synergistic meal pairing. Even when you absorb the iron, raw numbers alone cannot fix secondary symptoms like poor circulation and digestive stagnation. To handle that, we need the final functional category, the system supporters. This group includes watermelon, apples, and bananas. Adding our final category to the scorecard, we see the infrastructure requirement. Proper blood volume hydration transports iron, which watermelon answers by improving circulatory flow. Simultaneously, apple fiber stabilizes digestion. The trade-off? These fruits provide almost zero direct iron. They serve strictly as structural support. Looking at the completed scorecard, the strategy is clear. Fighting anemia requires materials to build, a catalyst to absorb them, and infrastructure to transport them. To apply this, evaluate the severity of your own fatigue before you choose a dietary strategy. If you are suffering from clinically diagnosed severe anemia, you must follow the path on the left. Clinically deficient individuals must rely on medical interventions or high-density meats. In this case, use citrus strictly as a supplementary tool to maximize those primary treatments. If you are a professional or a plant-based optimizer dealing with mild daily sluggishness, you take the right path toward dietary synergy. For this group, the daily habit has extremely low friction. Pairing a handful of dates with a glass of lemon water can directly combat afternoon energy crashes. Identifying your exact path prevents wasted effort. You shouldn't try to cure a severe illness with an apple, and you don't need the digestive strain of synthetic pills for mild fatigue. This protocol requires a slow, compounding daily habit. It rejects the concept of an overnight miracle cure. It operates on one golden rule: never consume a plant-based iron source without an accompanying vitamin C source. When you respect that rule, the recovery is subtle. Day by day, your body begins absorbing the materials and circulating the oxygen it has been missing for months. Over time, the constant heavy feeling lifts. The sluggishness is replaced by sustained natural energy. True nutritional power comes from understanding your biology and applying the precise combinations your body requires to thrive.